Our comments have exploded through the roof. So there you go.
Hey, good afternoon, Lancaster. This is Lancaster Connects. Welcome to the show. It's 2:00. It's Monday afternoon,
Yes,
April 6th. Easter was just yesterday. It's crazy. Like, we're already a quarter of the year, a quarter of the way into the year. It was just like Christmas and New Year's, right? So you know what time it is. It's 2:00, time for Lancaster Connects. I am joined in the studio by Brian Mahon. I believe I said that right.
Nailed it.
We pre-show we were talking about all the ways that it shouldn't be pronounced, and of course my brain's going, say it right, say it right, say it right. I got it right here phonetically. Brian Mahon. Brian, you're going to talk to us a little bit today about insurance.
Yes,
you
sir.
represent Igloo Insurance, and you're also on the board of the Manheim Township Public Library Foundation.
Yes, sir.
Which is cool. So we'll be talking about some great things that you're doing there. Yeah, it's a beautiful, beautiful day, beautiful week out there. Easter was a little, it had to do the Easter egg hunt inside because it was wet yesterday. Did you get together with family?
We did. We had 7 small children running around in rain jackets.
So you still did it outside?
We did.
Yeah.
We were like, the show must go on.
Yeah. We switched it up. It's the first time I think ever that we were forced to do it inside. But we kind of switched it up. My parents, they do the eggs for the kids, their kids, right, and their wives, and I have 2 brothers, and so my, three adult women, 3 adult men, and then all the kids, 8 kids.
Dang.
So they put all the eggs together, and we split it up where the adults hid the kids' eggs, and then we reversed it. The kids hid the adult eggs, and I think they had more fun doing that.
Yeah, I bet.
Or at least as much fun doing that. Of course, they love the candy that's in the eggs and the little treats that Grammy and Grampy put in there. Shout out. Grammy and Grampy always do a great job with the Easter eggs.
The fun part we had with our Easter egg hunt is my son decided to destroy all of his candy and cried for like 45 minutes because he had a bellyache. And I was like, buddy, we tried to get you to eat real food all day.
Right.
And,
right.
Like, sometimes you got to learn things the hard way.
Great point. Great point. Yeah, I mean, the candy looks good, tastes good, easy to eat. And then, you should pace yourself.
Too much of a good thing.
Moral of the story there. Yeah. Well, Brian, we're gonna jump in just a little bit here. We've got a couple things to go over here at the top of the show. Again, Lancaster Connects. You're tuning in because you want to find out some what great people in Lancaster, the Lancaster community, are doing, either with their small business or with the nonprofit or charitable organization they represent. And actually, Brian represents each side of that.
Yeah.
So this is going to be a unique show from that standpoint. This is episode 241. You can watch past episodes on lancasterconnects.com. You can see the past show list there. Connect to YouTube. Past shows are on Facebook for a little bit as well. And if you want to be a guest, if you are a nonprofit or charitable organization or a small business owner, or just somebody that has a really unique, cool story to tell, we'd love to tell that story
For sure.
here on Lancaster Connects. Just go to lancasterconnects.com/guest. There's a simple guest form on there. We'll get you on and help you tell your story there. In lieu, Jeff, I should mention, Jeff is not here today. Jeff Giannakovo is my partner here at Gardner's Mattress & More. That's where the studio is, and he's my co-host typically here on Lancaster Connects. He is at home taking care of his wife, Steph. She had hip replacement last week, and he's helping her recover. So he's doing a fantastic job doing that. Prayers to her and a smooth healing recovery process there. Jeff normally does the mattress tip. So in lieu of a mattress tip today, we are going to direct everybody to, I know you can't read that, it's backwards. Chris is going to bring it up here on the screen. Thank you, Chris. So in lieu of a mattress tip, you should go to this event hosted by our friends at Prana Functional Manual Therapy. Shout out to past Lancaster Connects guest, Dawn Cox, who is the owner of Prana Physical Therapy. And she is putting on a seminar workshop called Reclaiming Rest, Quality Sleep Without a CPAP or Pill. So if you want to learn about sleep and how you can improve your sleep, join here. RSVP by the 7th, which is tomorrow, And when you do that, you'll get a free gift from Hempfield Botanicals. You see the QR code there. I believe you can also go to the Prana Functional Manual Therapy Facebook page. There's a link to register on there. But you can learn just a few bullet points from this. Learn how to fall and stay asleep. Find bed positioning to maximize pain and maximize healing. Dawn is going to debunk sleep myths. For example, melatonin
is not the
answer.
Yeah,
it's also not candy. It's not Easter candy.
It's also not regulated.
Yeah, right. Right.
Like,
exactly.
You know, like melatonin could be various strengths and quality when you get it at the drugstore.
Right. She'll tell you why that's not the answer. Rethink the CPAP use for sleep apnea, and of course, discover unique ways to reduce stress. Dawn invited us to be part of this event, so Jeff and I will be representing Gardner's Mattress and More at this Prana workshop. And
a place to take a nap.
I don't think so.
No. Okay.
We should, though. Dawn has actually, in years past, done seminars here at Gardner's, and we're going to help her out with this one here. So, really
right across the street from the Barnstormers.
Right across the street from the Barnstormers. Easy to get to. There's a parking lot right there. You could probably park in the Barnstormers lot if there's not a game. I don't think there'd be a game. Yeah, double check on that one. I don't know.
Yeah. What day of the week is the 14th?
It's a good question. I think it's a Tuesday. But yeah, this would be a great way to learn more about sleep, again, without the uses of devices or pills. Of course, what Dawn does in helping people with their physical needs really correlates very closely to sleep and health and well-being. Of course, we provide the product that your body can get a good night's sleep on, but if all of the other aspects of your body aren't in alignment, sleep is tough no matter what mattress you have. So, we've worked pretty closely with Dawn in years past to help people sleep better. So definitely sign up for that event and attend. Say hello to Dawn and Jeff and I when you're there. And before we jump into our conversation, Brian,
are we going to move that bus?
We're going to move that bus. The wheel is up. This is the so for listeners, watchers of Lancaster Connects this week only, this is a in-show special. Whatever this wheel arrow lands on as a result of your wheel spin.
Oh, this isn't for me. This is for everyone.
No, this is for everyone.
Whoa.
So anybody watching can come in and get this deal this week at Gardner's Mattress More. When you're ready, Brian.
All right. Spin that wheel.
Well done.
There it goes.
Well done.
It's like a record player.
That's a great
it's a little tiny though. Oh, I'm squinting. 25 something.
It'll pop up here.
Oh,
25. Oh, so this is cool. $25 donation in your name with any purchase to Off the Streets. OTS is Off the Streets. They're a local charity here in Lancaster County that helps get people out of homelessness and into homes and furnished homes. We donate mattresses to them on a monthly basis. So if you come in and make a purchase here at Gardner's Mattress and More this week, we will make a donation, a $25 donation to $25 donation in your name to Off the Streets.
That's amazing.
Fantastic charity. If you want to know more about Off the Streets, of course, you can find them on the web. You can also go back and look at past Lancaster Connects episodes. They've been on the show a couple times before. So great organization, great people. Love helping them out. So that's a good wheel spin.
Thank you.
Haven't seen that one come up in a while. All right, Brian, let's jump in. So we got Igloo Insurance and we've got the Manheim Township Public Library Foundation. Let's kick it off with a little insurance conversation.
Let's do it. Everybody loves talking about insurance.
Everybody loves insurance. Yep. So, start off, a little bit about your background and what led you into the insurance and risk advisory world.
Most folks, either their dad was a producer, or their mom was an underwriter, and that's how they got into insurance. Okay. I was neither of those things. I kind of just fell into it. So
how does that happen?
I'm a Delawarean, and I went to University of Delaware. Mm-hmm. Go Blue Hens, or as my brother-in-law would say, Roll Hens. Yeah, he's silly. When I was going into my senior year there, I studied abroad in Australia.
Okay.
And this is, I'll tell you the long version since we're on a podcast, but I promise I'll get to the point. And part of this trip was, it was a business trip. 2 weeks in Sydney, 2 weeks in Melbourne, 1 week in Cairns, where the Great Barrier Reef is, and did all the things. It was amazing. Skydiving, bungee jumping, did the Sydney Harbour Bridge. It was really cool. But part of that trip was all these executives would come talk to us from DHL and Salesforce. And there was this guy, Conrad with a K. He was a Kiwi. He was from New Zealand. He said, "Oh yeah, I just invested, $50,000 of my own money in this little startup called Avatar Brokers." And I was studying entrepreneurship and technology innovation at the time. And him and I kind of hit things off. We started Skyping because that's what you did back then.
Right.
Before,
shout out Skype.
Yeah,
is that even around? I don't know.
I've never seen anyone use it in the last few years.
Probably rolled up into something else.
Yeah, back 10 plus years ago, Australians like to Skype.
Gotcha.
So he made me an offer I couldn't refuse. So the day after I graduated, my girlfriend, now wife, we both moved to Cincinnati, Ohio to be, I was the second employee in the United States. So we ran an independent insurance agency, property and casualty, 100% commercial for technology and life science companies.
Oh, interesting.
So I'll tie it into sleep here for a second. So there's a big sleep apnea industry in Australia.
Yeah.
A lot of medical devices, pharmaceuticals, biotech. So our parent company was Australian. And then me and my business partner, he was ex-military. He was in like Desert Storm. We were outside of Wright Pratt Air Force Base, Dayton, Ohio. So we had this very weird start to my career.
Gotcha.
Helping tech and life science companies with business insurance, and kind of went from there.
How'd you get to Lancaster?
Oh, back in 2020, when seemingly everybody moved. I was one of them. My wife was pregnant at the time with our first son, and we were kind of trying to figure out where we wanted to live. So we were living in her mother's ski condo at the time in a Whitetail Ski Resort, which, for people who aren't skiers on the podcast, that's in Franklin County, Pennsylvania, southern Pennsylvania. You don't really think of as snowy, but
you can make snow.
Yeah, but we were there in the summer. It was kind of interesting. Yeah, they blow snow all the time. And she ended up she went to school for pharmacogenomics, so pharmaceuticals and genetics combined. She's a total nerd scientist. I love her. And couldn't get a job in Frederick, Maryland, where we were kind of looking. She ended up moving to Lancaster to work at Eurofins to work on the COVID vaccine. So she did safety testing there.
My goodness.
Dyes, a lot of physics, like pressures, and if the drug went in an airplane and the pressure changed, would it affect the active ingredients in the drug, things like that. And then we were living in the apartments in Greenfield, and a big insurance agency has been in Lancaster County 125 years. Engel, Hambright and Davies. I ended up working there for 5 years.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's how we came to Lancaster.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So what's Igloo Insurance, and what do you do?
Yeah.
At Igloo Insurance.
Igloo Insurance is my business. I started last summer, June 1st.
Congratulations. That's cool.
Thank you.
Yeah. You're coming up on a year celebration.
Yes, sir. It's been a long 9 months or so, but very rewarding. So it's an independent insurance agency. That's kind of the channel I've been in for the last 10 years in various states and roles. We offer transparent risk advice to business owners and families, alongside quality home, auto, life, and business insurance products. So very much consultative, and we can compare and contrast different solutions for folks.
Where'd the name come from?
I made it up.
Certainly the word igloo was created more than 9 months ago.
Clearly. Yeah. I like alliteration. Sally sold seashells by the seashore.
Igloo Insurance.
So it has the double I. There was a guy in my industry that started an agency called Rogue Risk. And I was like, I love that. Like, how can I, pivot or iterate from that?
Yep.
But then it got me thinking, right? Everybody knows what an igloo is. It's a house made out of snow. The Inuit tribes of North America relied on them for shelter. They symbolize resourcefulness. They built out of materials they readily had available. They were temporary in nature. They built them as they moved around. So we want to take, those qualities to the insurance industry.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's really cool. I thought the name was cool when it came across. So I thought that's neat.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. So let's talk about risk. What are some common?
It's a risky world out there.
Yeah. What are some common risks that we can talk about it from a business owner standpoint and personal standpoint? What are some common risks that people don't see coming?
Yeah, I kind of think of that as like almost like a life stage question. So think of a young person starting out, right? They move out of mom and dad. Maybe they're getting car insurance for the first time and they stop using, the online DIY solutions. They go to, progressive.com or
the
whatever.
Lizard one.
And
the other one.
And they just pick whatever they think they need.
Yeah.
A lot of conversations I'm having at that standpoint are the difference between limited tort and full tort. That is your legal rights in a nutshell. So a lot of
to have one of those too.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
Yeah, in your car insurance, you can have various deductibles, various limits, but you have to pick limited tort or full tort. Always recommend full tort. There are folks trying to save money. Oh, I'll save $300 a year if I do limited tort. And what that means is you're giving up some legal rights. If there's a really bad accident, you want to sue somebody, right? Because we love to do that in America. But seriously though, you break your leg, you get put on a ventilator. You're in a really bad car accident,
right? Which can happen
to anyone. Yeah,
anytime.
and it could be not your fault.
Yep.
It's your ability to sue for non-economic damages, pain and suffering, which could be limitless in the law. So that's a conversation I have a lot. As you mature as a person beyond having car insurance, maybe you buy a home. The two big things we see a lot of folks don't have is water and underground service line coverage. Of course, you can have different limits and deductibles and different carriers. But water and flood and sewer backup is not standard. So, you might think this is crazy. Me and my wife, every single night, we go down to the utility room. We have like a split level house and we go to the back of the utility sink where the washer machine is hooked up with the hoses and we turn them off every single night.
Yeah.
So if there's a leak there, I mean, that thing can pump like a entire swimming pool, 17,000 gallons of water into your home within 24 hours.
And you've seen this happen before.
Oh, yeah. I mean, those claims are tens and tens of thousands of dollars. Like think of a Serve Pro to come in and, remove moldy furniture and drywall and those industrial fans and blow out that space. So,
I mean, that's great advice. I mean, everybody walks around their house and locks their doors. Right. So it's just another step in the process.
100%. And there are, sensor technologies out there now.
Okay, right.
Like there's a LeakBot is a popular one that goes on your main water valve. Some carriers will help you get these types of technologies for free. They'll send them to you. Another one's called Ting, T-I-N-G. That can detect an electrical fire in your house before it actually happens.
Wow.
It just hooks into an outlet and can kind of see like electrical arcing.
Didn't know that before.
Yeah, so I have both of those in my house. So yeah, I mean, it's very easy to save money on your homeowners or car insurance by reducing coverage. But, do you want a claim paid when it actually comes through?
Right.
Like there's another guy, I talked to him probably 3 weeks ago. His name was Joe. He's with Allstate and he had an underground utility line claim that was denied. He had zero coverage and he had to put it on a payment plan. It cost $20,000 to replace the, I think it was either water or electric line under his house, to dig it up, replace it, put sod back over it.
Not an inexpensive.
Yeah, having an excavator come out to your house for a couple days, not cheap. So, and then maybe you turn into a crazy business owner like me after buying a house and buying a car. There's a lot of risks out there. Unfortunately, a lot of the coverages are mandatory. Like workers' comp the state's going to require you to have it. Any contract you sign is going to require you to have basic general liability coverage. The two things I always have conversations about when you probably have about a dozen employees is when I get serious about having these conversations. I call them the two the two nice to haves, not must haves. Right. One is employment practices liability. Think of an HR manager's best friend. So you get sued for harassment, sexual harassment, wage and hour disputes, wrongful hiring, wrongful firing.
Wow. Okay.
There's a kind of a famous example where a woman who's pregnant goes to get a job at a place like UPS or FedEx. Like, hey, can you lift over 40 pounds? She's like, well, no, because I'm pregnant. And then, she doesn't get the job and then she sues them and gets a bunch of money.
Wow.
So these things not only are your current employees or potential employees or recent employees, but they could be third-party contractors.
Yeah.
So another quick example, it could happen anywhere. Walk into your post office worker, FedEx, UPS, doesn't matter. Walk into a business and there's donuts and coffee in the front table, and everybody's having a nice time. You're there every week delivering packages. And you're like, hey, how come I never get invited to partake in the donuts and coffee, but the DHL guy does, and the Comcast guy, and the whoever, and you file discrimination lawsuit.
Oh my goodness.
Like those things get paid.
Wow.
These aren't big dollars, but they're frequent.
Yeah.
10, 20, 30, $40,000 issues that, you have to defend, even if they're baseless in nature. So
how do you help, since we're talking about business owners, how do you help a business owner work through, like, be proactive about these issues instead of reactive? Because I guess if you're reactive to any of these things, you're too late.
Yes.
In most cases.
A lot of the time.
So how do you help business owners be more proactive about the coverage that they have?
Yeah. We put them all on really what we call proactive written service timelines of, hey, here's what you're going to do throughout the year to keep you out of trouble. The other 364 days when your policy doesn't renew on that one day a year. So that could look like a monthly phone call. That could look like a quarterly, in-person meeting. That could look, even less infrequent than that, but it's just, caring. Hey, have you bought any new property or equipment? Have you been hiring or firing? Is revenue up or down or staying the same? Is payroll up or down or staying the same? Are you looking at any acquisitions or divestments?
Right.
Just staying up to date on all that stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I can speak from experience. You think about insurance just about once a year.
Yeah.
Right.
Most business owners,
Like
that's how they treat it.
That 364 other days we're focused on the business, running the business, getting more customers, whatever it is.
Yep.
And you don't really think about how what you're doing may have ramifications on the policy you should have.
Especially if you're signing a contract. That's another one.
Like
any contract you're signing you could be.
Oh, a contractor.
No. I mean, it could be an IT vendor.
Oh,
it could be, someone delivering furniture to your office. Anytime you're signing a contract, you may want to send that to your insurance professional.
Interesting. Never thought of it in that way.
I mean, especially in construction, but
right.
There are, master service agreements, cloud services agreements. Everybody has stuff in the cloud now. Right. So can definitely go beyond just construction.
And how about from same question from a homeowner's perspective, or even and I can share from experience. I have a daughter who's 16, and about actually 2 days away from taking her license test.
Nice.
And we will need to get her insured at some point.
It's tough having teenage kids.
Yeah, thinking through that and thinking through some of the pitfalls that can go with your home. Like, how do you help?
Yeah,
those like everyday people get through insurance conversations.
Yes, the big ones right now are roofs and teenagers for sure. So
interesting.
I mean, teenagers, you want them to do, distracted driving, defensive driver courses, any sort of courses you can do to get, a premium credit. That helps. Some carriers have premium credits. And when I say premium credit, I mean like a discount for a full-time college student living away at school who may still drive the car on, breaks or weekends or whatever, but obviously not using it all the time.
Right.
So that's something you always want to ask about. There are telematics. Some of them, are better than others. I think there are a couple names out there.
What's a telematic?
So like Progressive Snapshot or Erie Your Turn. Basically, you're giving them more data via an app or some sort of plug into your vehicle where your driving is monitored.
Yeah.
Some of those are more directly tied to the actual premium. Some of them are just safe driving, rewards programs.
Right.
So, those are good for teenagers and have good data that kind of gamifies being a new driver. Like, oh, hey, I have my friends in the car and I'm speeding. Mom and dad aren't going to know about it, but, ABC insurance company is going to jack my rates up. Then mom and dad are going to be mad at me. So,
Gotcha.
And then they like to say, oh, hey, I got $10 this month. I'm going to go, get ice cream or get coffee or something.
Right.
So, yeah, as far as roofs go, I mentioned roofs.
Yeah,
I mean, real realtors right now and just older homeowners, they're getting hammered. A lot of folks don't realize kind of the different types of roofing materials. Metal is the best. Architectural shingles are good. 3-tab shingles are getting a lot of flack in the homeowners insurance industry because they're not very good.
Gotcha.
And they're kind of flatter looking. So they're only good for, say, 10 years, which is not a long time for a roof.
So yeah, somebody getting a new roof and they're getting that type of roof, they might be thinking like, oh, a roof is 30 years.
Exactly.
But you're there to say it's not.
Yes.
Despite what
the
roofer might tell you.
Yes. Yeah. You're getting a new roof, shop with multiple roofers. My dad and brother were roofers growing up.
Okay.
Definitely pay very much attention to the material and the warranty. And then definitely reach out to whoever has your homeowner's insurance and say, hey, I'm getting a new roof, or I got a new roof, and you should save hundreds of dollars immediately.
Well,
yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Good feedback there. How about cyber liability? That gets a ton of attention these days.
It does. Yeah. There was a couple videos out in the last month. A local veterinarian office just had a data breach and lost a few days worth of productivity.
Wow.
Yeah, it's interesting. That's the other big nice to have in terms of being a small business owner. I have the coverage myself, having be a one-man band, only in business 9 months, because I get a lot of protected data.
Right.
When we're doing quotes, we have people's driver's license numbers, their date of birth, their addresses, their phone number, their email. So clearly, your professional service providers ought to have it. But think of it like this. What technology do you rely on every day to run your business? If it's 2026, you have a website, you probably have QuickBooks, some sort of software.
Yep.
You are probably on social media. You may have another piece of software to manage clients or inventory or patients, or it's very hard to run a business without some sort of technology, or at least efficiently. So when a business has a robust cyber insurance policy, standalone policy, not a little rider on their BOP or their package, it comes with a 1-800-365 incident response hotline. It's a panic button. That panic button is manned by a privacy attorney, 24/7, 365. They act as a data breach response coach, and it's their job to spearhead really incident response. So the first thing they're going to do is deploy IT forensics. Think of, your attorneys, hourly rate times 3. These are military, CIA, cybersecurity nerds that charge an arm and a leg, and they figure out how the bad guys got into your network and what they took, if anything. Was that incident truly a data breach? Because a data breach is a legal term. From there, they kick that back to legal, and they say, hey, based off the information and the states and countries or places you've had customer data, again, think PII, personally identifiable information, PFI, personal financial information, PHI, personal health information. That's the protected data that is, subject to notifying those individuals that, hey, we didn't take care of it.
Right.
You may have to provide credit monitoring to them, which obviously is a cost. You may be a sitting duck, like this veterinarian office in Lancaster for a few days. You can't make any money. So cyber insurance actually pay your net income plus your continued operating expenses.
Right.
So it's really business disability insurance for the downtime of a cyber incident. It can even pay fines and penalties. Like Uber lost, I think it was like, I'm going to butcher the numbers, but 10,000 Pennsylvanian driver's licenses, like people who were living in Pennsylvania and were Uber drivers. Right. And this turned into a class action lawsuit, but they got fined like tens of millions of dollars through the Attorney General of Pennsylvania. So it's pretty dynamic. It can really help you out. And
it seems like something that's changing daily, hourly, right? Yeah. Criminals are finding new ways to exploit information online. How does somebody like you stay up with current trends and what's going on out there?
Yeah, it's not easy. part of it is continuing education. I went to school with Chubb and Carnegie Mellon University, so we have biannual kind of training updates, cyber cope insurance certification programs. Like less than 1% of insurance agents have done that. I'm part of the Technology Council of Central Pennsylvania, the Cybersecurity Association of Pennsylvania, groups like ISC Squared. So I hang out with a lot of IT people, more or less.
I'm glad you brought that up. The Technology Council. What did you call it? Technology Council?
TCCP, the Technology Council of Central Pennsylvania.
Thank you. Tomorrow afternoon, I think you're going to be on a webinar.
Yes.
Talking about cyber reliability.
Yeah. So we're doing a lunch and learn with that group. It's a great group. They host a lot of events at Penn State Harrisburg and just around the South Central Pennsylvania area.
There it is there on the screen.
So some folks that are involved with Tech Lancaster here and the Candy Factory are part of TCCP.
Nice.
They kind of touch Hershey Medical and their kind of big R&D budget, and as well as like Harrisburg University of Science and Technology. We just did an event at Elizabethtown College a couple weeks ago where I didn't realize this, but there's computer science students there as well. And they were asking just great, career-oriented questions. Hey, should I go get my master's? I'm thinking about going to this school. Should I, go to work right away? So that was pretty cool.
So Chris just had it up there on the screen. Where can somebody go to watch this webinar if they're...
If you go to just Google the Technology Council of Central Pennsylvania, and then that should get you to their website.
And then there's a link.
And then there's a link in their events. Yeah.
Okay.
There may be a charge for non-members. I'm not 100% sure.
Okay. Yeah, but it's worth a little investment and a little investment in time.
It is.
To learn as much as you can.
Cyber is the Wild West of the insurance industry for sure. I mean, it's the fastest growing property and casualty insurance product on the planet.
Right.
Yeah. They say if cyber crime was a country in terms of GDP, it'd be the third largest in the world after the US and China, which is kind of mind blowing to think about the trillions of dollars per year that cyber crime generates.
And that's really just a last 25-year sort of thing.
Yeah. Last 20 years since like the 99, 2000 era.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Yep.
From a personal insurance side, you are doing a mini masterclass. Is that right?
It's kind of on demand.
Okay.
So we have a pretty robust YouTube channel.
For Igloo Insurance?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you're, buying your first home or you're buying car insurance for the first time, or, maybe you just had your first kid and you're thinking about life insurance, this is designed to be extremely educational and kind of, give the lay of the land. And I think it's maybe less than 20 or 30 minutes and maybe 6 or 7, bite-sized videos.
That's cool. So go to YouTube, find Igloo Insurance
on
YouTube, and you'll see the videos right there.
Yep. It's a playlist. It's like personal insurance mini masterclass.
I love that.
Savvy shopper series. Yep. So if you're looking for transparent risk advice, which is our slogan, we're trying to do that in numerous ways.
Yep. I love that. Very cool. Very cool. Let's shift gears a little bit.
Sure.
So thank you for talking about risk,
No worries.
And how it relates to both business and personal insurance. But you are on the board of the Manheim Township Public Library Foundation.
I am.
Correct?
Almost 3 years. It's crazy.
How did you get involved with the library?
Not very sexy story. When I moved here, I went to Manheim Township's website and I filled out a form that said volunteer. And then I randomly got a phone call 2 years later, which was 3 years ago. And they were like, hey, this is Susan here. I'm the president of the foundation. We want to interview you to be on the board. And I was like, okay, cool. And I met 2 nice old ladies at the library. Older. And that's the story. That's history.
Well, so why the library though? Like what led you to get involved?
I go there all the time with my kids.
Yep.
For we're specifically talking about the Manheim Township Public Library right there in Overlook Park, off in between really Lititz Pike and Fruitville Pike.
Yep.
I mean, Manheim Township is interesting because we don't have like a main street that a lot of the other towns in Lancaster do. Yep. So I really see that location as our community center and as our main street.
That's cool. I
In a
like
way.
the way you think about that. Yeah.
Yeah. There are large multi-purpose rooms there. People might not realize right there on the right when you walk in, you can rent them for next to nothing for whatever you want.
Do they still have the story time in the silo?
Of course.
And that's what you take your kids to?
All the time.
I mean,
and Market Monday, and what else do they have? They're not Lego blocks, but they're Mega Blocks or something. Saturdays.
Yep.
They have hundreds of children programs every month.
That's warms my heart that they still do that. The 16-year-old that I mentioned,
Mm-hmm.
when she was like 1 and 2,
Yeah.
we were at the library all the time, like at least once a week.
Yep.
Doing this story time
That's
in
what
the
I'm doing.
silo.
I got a 2-year-old and a 5-year-old.
And they had, some of the computers there. And I think a lot of her love of books came from,
Yes.
those early times hanging out in the library. That's cool.
We meet countless people who have similar stories. And I've even met tourists who, maybe they're from New York or wherever. They come to Lancaster once a summer and they always make a point to go to the library, which is very interesting.
That's awesome.
I would never think it'd be a tourist destination.
I wouldn't think that either.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Because you always think tourists come in, they're going to the Amish destinations and Sight and Sound and American Music Theater and
right.
Route 30, right? The outlets.
Yeah.
But that's cool that they get to the
free thing to do, bad weather or after dinner or something before bed with little kids. They can go to the library.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. So, what's one thing you've learned through your work with the library that's impacted how you think about community?
Yeah. Libraries are snowflakes. It's honestly very crazy how they are funded and how they operate and who works there and where and why and what they do. What's interesting about libraries and Manheim Townships the slogan used to be on the logo, like more than books.
Yeah.
But seriously, in 2026, I mean, think of all the kids who have to submit their homework digitally.
Okay.
13% of Lancaster County does not have access to Wi-Fi at home.
Yeah.
Where are you going to submit your homework?
Go to the library.
Yeah. I think filing your taxes.
Mm-hmm.
The plain communities, they don't have Wi-Fi. They still have to file taxes.
Mm-hmm.
Libraries, board games.
Okay.
We are renting out board games like crazy. Yard games. So you have like a big family, gathering, cookout, something like that.
Yep.
And then of course books. What you don't realize, Manheim Township circulates about 700,000 items per year.
Mm-hmm.
So someone has to physically get them from the little drop-off box,
right?
Put them back in circulation, back up on the shelf, log them in, log them out, check them for damage. Like there's a lot of manual labor at libraries you don't realize. And at the same time, Lancaster County cut their funding budget for libraries. I think it was 13% in 2025.
Yeah, I remember that.
So, libraries as a whole are struggling.
Yep.
But they're still as important as they've ever been.
You mentioned other services. The service we recently used as a family at the library was the passport office.
Yes.
Super cool that
Amazing.
you can just set an appointment on the website. Super easy. They tell you what documents to bring in. Boom, boom, boom. Easy, done.
I'm glad you mentioned that. The federal government actually just changed the way passports are allowed, who's allowed to do passport services.
Yeah.
And any library that is a 100% nonprofit can no longer do passport services.
Right.
And since Manheim Township is technically a municipal library, it's heavily, funded and backed by the Manheim Township taxpayers and Manheim Township, the township, we are still allowed to do passport services. And trying to, we feel bad that, other libraries obviously are losing some passport revenue, but trying to, fill that need for folks who may have not had a good opportunity, a good experience at a post office, which, are a little less flexible.
Yeah. Yeah. Something we were talking about pre-show was you take donations, so if
we do.
People have books and probably other media.
It could be CDs, DVDs, but we collect gently used books, basically all the time. a big chunk of our revenue sources is used book sales. So if you've lived in Lancaster for a while, you may remember the big annual book sale at the ice hockey rink or roller rink in Overlook.
Yep.
Because it's getting harder to find and source quality used books, right? Ebooks are becoming more popular.
Yep.
People just aren't buying brand new books anymore like they used to. We've broken it into 4 quarterly book sales that are in the library. So not only does that give you more opportunity to come check out the used books, but it's less manpower and man hours.
Sure. I'm sure that was a huge undertaking to
massive. We had to coordinate all sorts of volunteers and scouts and trucks. And, but you don't necessarily need to wait for a book sale. When you walk in, there's the book spot that is kind of like a 24/7 bookstore, and you can
right there on the left after you walk in the door. Yeah.
Yep. And that's basically pay what you want,
by donation,
recommended donation. And then believe it or not, there's an entire Amazon bookstore in the basement.
Oh, really?
And we sell used books on Amazon.
Okay.
And that's been challenging because Jeff Bezos and friends have changed some kind of rules there, and we have to keep keeping the account up to date and whatnot.
Yeah.
But yeah, so there's multiple opportunities to engage with. A lot of folks will buy books there and then just donate them back, and then they end up back on the shelf, which is kind of the circular economy, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
But in the back left where the book spot is typically where we collect, gently used books for donation.
Yeah. My kids love looking through the books that they can get through donation.
Yeah.
I mentioned my daughter a few times. I'll mention her again. She found a whole collection of a series of unfortunate events there, and she was like ecstatic. That would made her day.
Oh yeah.
But we'll always bring books that they're no longer wanting anymore.
Mm-hmm.
They're grown out of or whatever. And then they're excited to look through. I actually found I don't know, you a baseball fan at all?
I'm not.
Okay. Sports fan at all?
NFL.
What's your team?
Eagles.
Oh, well, all right. We won't do the chant, but that's cool.
Go Birds.
Go Birds. There you go. Jeff is a big Eagles guy.
Okay.
But, so I'm a big baseball guy, Phillies fan, right? And there was a book there like a couple weeks ago when we were there. There's a statistician named Bill James in baseball. He's well known. If you're a baseball nerd, you'd know Bill James. But every year he'd put out a book that was just a compilation of all the stats of all the players, and it was like for fantasy baseball people, whatever.
Right.
So I found this in there, and I'm like, oh, this is cool. And I started flipping through it, and here's whoever owned this book had gone through and highlighted every single Philly in the book. I mean, this book is like this thick, and he highlighted.
Cool,
it was like
that is my work for me.
like every single Phillies player in there, and this is from 2007. So I don't know if the gentleman passed away or whatever, but he didn't want this book anymore, and I found it there, and I got it from my brothers who are bigger Phillies fans than I am. So I just thought it was funny that this person had highlighted every single Philly in the book.
Oh my God.
What else is going on at the library? What else could we talk about?
Yeah. I mean, we always have, a calendar of tons of programming. We're getting much more into teenage programming, has been a renewed focus this year.
Like what?
They have book clubs, they have kind of meetups. I mean, I think there's a Pokemon group that meets up. There's
that's cool.
Magic the Gathering group.
Oh yeah,
there's all sorts of things.
And these are things that people can find on the Township Library's website.
Yes.
So there's like a list of events and
calendar.
Do you have to sign up?
Typically recommended.
Yeah.
A lot of things fill up, to be honest, because they're just so popular.
Yeah.
Like any holiday, think of the library. They do a really cool Halloween event for little kids. They do a really cool Christmas event. Again, you gotta book those in advance.
Now, is there a cost for any of these?
Typically, no.
Yeah.
I mean, most things at the library cost absolutely nothing, which makes it very popular.
Yeah, of course. Well, it's something to get the kids out of the house, get their heads out of the screen.
I'll get in my soapbox a little bit. So our society
not on this show, please.
Is running out of third places.
What places?
Third place.
So
between work and home, where do you go?
Yep.
You go to a coffee shop, you got to buy a coffee.
Yep.
You go to the mall. I mean, generally, at least where I grew up in Delaware, right? I mean, eventually you weren't really encouraged to go to the mall as a teenager and not spend any money.
Yeah.
Like, you get kicked out or whatever. So like kids and teens and adolescents, they need somewhere to go.
Yep.
That is a third place.
Yep.
And I think the library is a great place.
I like that concept.
Yeah.
So there, Chris looks like the calendar of events up there.
Tons of stuff.
Pretty much something.
Yeah. Duplo.
On
That's
every
what
day.
I was talking about. Those are the mega blocks.
Oh yeah.
In terms of some upcoming events that are like bigger, we do have for any business owners listening, we have our silent auction coming up. It starts June 2nd. We're currently looking for donations there. They're due by May 25th. They could be as small as a coffee mug to a giant mattress or a watch or something. And what it is it's an auction that runs for 2 weeks. So it's a great way to advertise to the Lancaster community. And Manheim Township's not just Manheim Township. Actually, 60% of folks who go there come outside of Manheim Township's service area.
Okay.
Which is kind of interesting. It's by far the busiest library in all of Lancaster County. Wow. And they circulate more items than the next two busiest libraries combined.
Wow, that's impressive.
Lancaster City and Ephrata are the next two biggest in terms of services offered or usage. Then the second event I'll mention, other than the silent auction, is our summer reading celebration. So kids are out of school in the summer. There's homeschooling is getting much more popular in the area. At the beginning of summer, there's a big push to get kids signed up for the summer reading program, and there's different levels based off age. And then we have a huge, food trucks in the parking lot, magicians, animals, scavenger hunts, like a really cool event in August. So we're always looking for folks to either volunteer their time there, just show up and enjoy it, or like Igloo Insurance will be a business sponsor there as well.
Oh, that's cool. So that's kind of like the end of summer wrap up party.
Yes.
That's
and
cool.
And the kids come in with their little pamphlet.
That's
booklet
they read the
saying,
whole.
Hey, we did our summer reading program. They get a bunch of prizes.
That's awesome.
And like your daughter, free books. Like they can get, I think, one brand new book. Like from a selection.
Yep. We do that every summer.
Yeah.
Again, the kids they like fill in the blocks and all that. So they're very cool. Very cool. I'm glad you brought up the volunteering aspect, because obviously you, as a library, you probably take donations, like not even just the books and the physical media and whatnot. Donations are welcome. But also, volunteering time, maybe.
Yes.
What are some of the volunteer opportunities at the library?
There's a lot of manual labor at libraries. We have some young folks, male or female, to help haul physical books a lot of the time. That's not the only volunteer opportunity. There are board volunteer opportunities. So what's interesting, it'll be official later this month, but I'll break the ice here.
We love
on the
breaking
podcast.
news. Yeah.
So historically speaking, there has been one board that was both responsible for advising and fundraising. And they were all appointed by the commissioners in Manheim Township. Moving forward, we've been working on this for a year. I think we'll be done at the end of this month. There will be two boards.
Oh, that's cool.
One just for fundraising and one just for advising. The fundraising will have a renewed focus. That's what I'm interested in, what I'm running.
Very cool.
And we will need more volunteers, because we will double our board openings, basically. So we'll be more structured like the police foundation, the canine foundation, the ambulance foundation, and the education foundation, where they're kind of their own little independent
that's cool
501c3.
That's cool. We had the Manheim Township Education Foundation on the show 2 or 3 weeks ago. Becky.
Okay. Awesome.
Becky DeMo. It was a recent one. You can find it on lancasterconnects.com.
Will do.
That's cool. That's cool. So I mean, we're almost at the top of the hour.
It happens
every time. 50 minutes, just like that. Looking ahead, whether it's business or in the community, what's got you energized right now?
Oh man, I'm really excited to kind of plant my flag in the ground for the next 30 years. With, my business and community, and where I live and where I work.
You found a home here in Lancaster.
I love Lancaster County, so looking forward to staying here. I'm hoping my daughter will take over the agency in 30 years. So she's 2 years old now.
Yeah. She's got a lot to learn.
Yeah, exactly.
Gosh, can you imagine what the cyber world might be when she's in college?
Yeah.
Like
technology.
I think back to
now,
20 years ago, and it's like,
oh yeah,
it's wild.
I mean, like we're saying, I was used to use Skype like 9 years ago.
Right.
Like, what the hell is Skype?
I haven't heard Skype in a long time.
Yeah.
Brian, this was great. Talking about Igloo Insurance and talking about the risks that both homeowners and individuals and business owners have. Of course, cyber liability is a big topic now. Thank you for sharing your knowledge with our listeners and watchers. And then, talking about the Manheim Township Public Library Foundation.
Yes, sir.
I didn't realize they were the biggest public library in the county.
In terms of usage.
That's awesome. And really a ton of great programming and events for kids and adults alike.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of great services to be utilized there. So what do you know the name of the website there?
I believe it's mtpl.org.
.org. Okay. Yeah. So of course you could just Google Manheim Township Public Library, get all the information.
Some folks end up at Manheim though.
Yeah. There is
time to time
some confusion between Manheim. What's Manheim? What's Manheim Township?
I had to learn that when I moved here.
Completely different places. Yeah, it's a little confusing.
Yeah,
but you got it now. You got it down.
Nailed it.
All right, so we are going to shift into our connection cocktail, which is just a few questions to get to know you a little bit better.
Awesome.
I feel like we've done that for the last 50 minutes, but
that's okay.
Dial it up a little bit more. So
sure thing.
Let's say you're on a long drive and you have a choice to listen to something, podcast, music, audiobook. What do you got going on?
Yeah. I will say the thing I most frequently listen to is Scott Galloway Prof G podcasts. And there's a few of them out there. He's ex NYU Stern School of Business branding professor, but he's kind of expanded into talking about manlyhood and young adolescents and the stock market and politics,
a little bit of everything.
Yeah, but he's good.
And what was his name again?
Scott Galloway.
Prof
G, Professor G.
All right, very good. If friends had to describe you outside of work, what would it be?
I don't know, caring, driven, something like that.
Okay.
I'm like the friend that initiates all of the, events and conversation.
Well, that's cool. I mean,
I'm the connector.
In the insurance world and advising on risk, you kind of have to be caring and
100%.
Right? I mean, that's fitting.
Yeah.
That's cool. Care. So what's a local business you love supporting right here in Lancaster?
Oh, great.
This is an interesting perspective because you're a 5 or 6 year ago transplant here.
Yes.
So you've gotten to know the community in your adult life versus.
Should I go restaurant or should I go nonprofit? Can I do both?
You do both. It's your time.
Yeah. My favorite nonprofit is the Central Pennsylvania Blood Bank.
Oh, okay.
So they have the trucks everywhere.
Yep.
I just did the movie theater in Lititz and cinema 2 weeks ago.
I see them at Universal Athletic Club
They're
all
there
the time. Yeah.
Probably once or twice a month. So I'm O negative. So
okay.
They politely bother me to donate, which I do. I like to do it.
Yeah.
I think it's important. Again, another thing that anybody can do for anyone that builds a sense of community.
Yeah.
You don't know who's going to get that blood, but they're going to need it and be thankful that it's there.
Do you know anybody there?
I don't.
Okay. They seem like they'd be a good guest for Lancaster Connects.
Okay. Maybe I'll let them know. Or they'll hear this.
they could.
Yeah.
They could.
We'll send it.
We'll be part of the search algorithm.
Yeah.
Now that we said.
I know they're based out of Hummelstown, which my office is in Middletown, which is right next door, right?
Yeah.
And just over the border.
Okay, gotcha.
North of Lancaster. Favorite restaurant? Gotta go with probably Caballars or Chea's.
Okay.
Those are my two go-to.
Yeah.
So the food truck next to Costco's.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Dynamite.
Yep.
Yeah. If you've never been there, you gotta go.
I've been there.
Don't go to Costco. Go to Chea's.
I agree. I've never been to Caballar though, and I've heard it's amazing.
Yeah, they do a bacon, lettuce, tomato sandwich, but it's like jowl bacon. They call it the JBLT. It's seasonal, right?
Right.
Because they butcher pigs like once a year or whatever.
Yeah. It's just blows your
you
mind.
got to get it.
All
Like
right.
they'll be like, hey, JBLTs are here. And it's like a Monday and like they're gone by like Wednesday night or Thursday morning. Yeah. So my wife and I like panic and order like 3 of them for takeout.
That's awesome.
The JBLT.
Well done.
Yeah.
Well done. All right. Last question.
Okay.
This is kind of a newer question. It's 250 years celebration.
It is.
For not for Gardeners, not for Lancaster Connects, but for this country,
America.
From your view, what makes America so great?
That's a great question. I like to say you can constantly reinvent yourself.
That's cool. I like that.
Like I've been known as a lot of different things in my life, and I think I've been able to do that because of where I live on the planet. Like if you, you know, whether that's a personal title like a husband or a father or whatever, or a professional title like a, you know, business owner, a risk advisor, whatever. But yeah, I mean, you can be what you want to be and be that well in America if you try.
I love that.
Yeah.
So cool. That's great. Brian Mahon, thank you so much for being on Lancaster Connects.
Thanks for having me. It was fun. Representing
Igloo Insurance. Just about to celebrate 1-year anniversary here in June, right?
Yeah,
June or
June
July.
1st.
You're gonna have a big party?
Maybe. That's a great question. I haven't thought about
You're bringing cupcakes for the office?
Yeah, my office is about the size of your office.
Yeah, right.
In here.
Right.
So yeah.
Doesn't matter the size of the office. It's a 1-year celebration.
Yeah.
A lot of businesses don't make it to 1 year. So
Thank you.
That's really, really cool. Wish you lots of success in the future. And of course, thanks for the work you do on the board at Manheim Township Public Library Foundation.
Thank you.
I know my family has gotten a lot of use out of the library and the services offered over the years. So
Yeah, that's a great
it was cool to have this conversation. And, you know, I just, you know, think of how many more generations of kids are going to be impacted by, you know, the services that the library has to offer in this digital world where everything is just, you know, on here and here.
Yeah. It's very, the feeling you get physically reading a paper book.
Yeah.
I think is worth keeping.
Yeah. And I know we're almost out of time, and Chris is probably like looking at his watch, but like just talking about that, you know, I think parents can get like frustrated, you know, with their kids, and are like, oh, how can I get these kids off screens? And what do I do? Like, just go to the library. Just like go into the library, and there's a whole world of stuff going on there that you could take advantage of.
There is.
It's like the cure.
And there's screens there, but they're educational.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
There's like 100 cool games.
I remember Dora the Explorer on the computer.
Okay.
I mean, this is going back.
We're doing something doodle art. And it's like, you know, it kind of reminds me of Paint back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you know, Windows XP.
Yep. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Good stuff. All right. We'll get the show wrapped up here. Again, thanks for watching. Support Brian here with if you got insurance needs, whether it's business or personal, Igloo Insurance can take care of you. And then, of course, if you're in the Manheim Township area, stop by the public library. Got a lot of great stuff going on. That's pretty much our show here. We'll just give a quick shout out to Gardeners Mattress and More, which is the business that Jeff and I co-own together. And we help Lancaster wake up happy every morning. We're at 830 Plaza Boulevard behind Park City Mall. Pretty much everybody knows where Park City Mall is.
Yeah.
People still go to the mall. Right off of 283, right off of 30. And we always read a little testimonial. We got a handwritten testimonial that came in over the weekend. This is from Bruce. Bruce hand wrote this and sent it back in the mail. And he just said that both people he was talking to answered all his questions politely and steered him in the right direction. And there was no pressure. So we talk about the no pressure thing often.
100%.
Because Google often, in their infinite wisdom, they see up there at the top, it says pressure. Chris has got it's technically no pressure. It aggregates all of the people that have said no pressure in their reviews, and it says the word pressure. I mean, it kind of, you know, while it looks like it's to our detriment, it's, you know, if you click on the word pressure and then you read that it's, oh yeah, it's no pressure, no pressure, no pressure. I think people understand what's going on there, right? But it's just, I I thought it was cool that this guy wrote no pressure as well. So mattress shopping shouldn't be hard, shouldn't be difficult. Obviously we want to make sure it's the right mattress to fit your sleep needs, and that's what we're here to do. But it's a pressure-free environment. Come in, spend an afternoon with us, spend multiple afternoons or evenings with us. We'll help you find the right fit the first time, and if not, we'll get it right with our Wake Up Happy Comfort Guarantee.
The second time.
Nice. Yep. Well, that's a wrap, Brian. It was great talking with you.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for stopping by the Lancaster Connect studios. We'll be back here next Monday. I don't know what the date is. I'm not going to give it a try, but every Monday at 2:00, we're here having great conversations with people making an impact in the community. So thanks so much for watching. Have a great afternoon. See you next week.
Comments have exploded through the roof, so there you go.